NSC Fan TV, Drew.
Hello.
Scott. Hello. Here we are. We're in the aftermath of the 3-4 loss to Toronto, and that was not nice. Though there's some good news. There are pieces of good news in there. So, Mr. Sunshine over here.
Hey,
hold on. We scored 3 goals.
Mr. Positive.
He's falling down on the job over there. Kind of swept up on the Gary out stuff. I have a piece of good news for you. We scored 3 goals. We scored three goals.
And one of those was a penalty.
One was a pen.
Excellently struck by Mukhtar. Yeah. And so that's something to be said.
Set pieces look good for us. I thought that Teal's goal, Teal's on a 4-for-4.
That's
Zimmerman is waking up and knocking goals in with Thor's hammer there, that head of his.
Thor Love and Thunder. Thor Love and Thunder. I mean, it's crazy.
So look, I mean, there are a lot of negatives because 4 goals got hit on us at home, and so we'll get to that shortly. But let's not lose sight of the fact that we scored 3, and at times looked really positive, and at times looked like we were creative. And whenever we chased the game and played with some urgency, things happened, and chances occurred, and we were able to play some relatively decent defense whenever we were foot forward.
Their keeper's just, I mean, he's a damn good one.
Yeah,
he lemurred a lot, and that was part of the reason why we couldn't bang another one in. But we did bang 3 in, and so there's something to be said about that.
All right, so we started off positively, and I wanted that not to be lost. There is another piece of positive, 2 pieces of other positive observations. One, Mukhtar's being played in the position where he should be playing.
Naturally,
he's a 10. Yeah. He's a 10. He's not a forward. He doesn't want to play forward. He gets lined up at forward, and then he comes back and plays 10.
Attacking midfield is his position, and we know. I mean, the old chant you had, Henny, he's a perfect 10.
He's a perfect 10.
He was being used like a not 10.
So. That's exactly it. So Hani Mukhtar is a 10. Use him as a 10. And if that means that you're not playing with the forwards, that you don't have Hani Mukhtar playing as a forward, he's still playing in the spot where he should be, you're not getting these weird midfield interactions. Now, again, maybe it works if we're playing with 2 6s.
That's okay. See, now that's the other thing we've got to talk about. It's like the 6-8 confusion. We talked about that a bit 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
But.
So I'm happy to see. I liked that lineup. That was the right lineup. I mean, I don't think that Bunbury's right for the right to play forward. But if we're gonna have someone playing out of position, it should not be Mukhtar.
It shouldn't be him. Not with his skill as a 10. And I think that his hold-up play just suits itself too well in the 10 role for it to be anything else. I think I like the 4-4-2 with the new personnel we've got who are healthy, fit, and in form. Yeah. Shaq Moore, Teal Bunbury, of course. I thought we looked really good in that formation. What I would have seen,
Bunbury playing as a forward, or the previous game with Bunbury playing sort of on that right side over Moore.
With Moore, I think both actually.
Okay,
I think
because Muil was played in that right side against Toronto,
but in this game he was up with Sapong, right?
Or no, he was on the left side.
He was on the left side.
No, I'm sorry, I take it back. He was on the right side. It was Leal who was on the.
No, that's right. He was just the striker. That's right. Yeah, we're getting it confused.
We're getting all mixed up here. Yeah. So it was Davis. So, look, I think that my worry with Bunbury playing on the wing over Moore is whenever we get the overlap play, and that relies on Bunbury having to track back.
Yeah.
I think that if we do play with 2 in the center, what that usually happens is that one of our 6s. Again, we're going to just accept the fact that we're going to play with 2 6s.
I mean, I think we just.
It's going to be Davis and McCarty, or McCarty and Anunga, or Davis and Anunga, and maybe if Godoy comes back, maybe we'll play a little bit. But if it's going to be a rotation of those 3 in those 2 center midfielder roles, it's effectively going to be playing with 2 6s. That's fine.
I think that's right.
Especially if Moore's going to be coming up on the right.
But I do have to say, if we're talking Godoy in that situation, I see him more like an 8.
Yeah, I think Godoy is a little bit more of a foot forward player.
Yeah, I don't see him as much as he does, though, when he needs to. I think he knows when to do that.
Yeah.
And I had to eat my words on that at a point before. So
yes, you did.
I think he's still. Yeah, I'm a fan of him now. For a while I really wasn't. I thought he turned the ball over too much to be a CDM, but I think really his position naturally is probably more of an 8.
Okay.
More forward.
So. okay, so so that was the good news.
Yeah. That's the good news.
That was the good news. So we started off positively, and I think I think that given where we're at and given where our feelings are and things like that, starting positive and being able to recognize the things that we did well is a good place for us to be. We got to have the MLS All-Star game and all that other stuff, and watch us beat the pants off of Liga MX. That'll be awesome. Yeah. But, part of regrouping is focusing not just on what we need to fix, but what we did right. And there's a lot there that we did right.
We don't bang in 3 for nothing. It didn't look like we were about to score another for nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
there's good news out of that.
There's good news. And I think that both 4 losses by 4, despite the fact that the loss away at Charlotte was really lopsided on the scoreboard, was actually very, very close on the field.
Yeah.
We were frightening them through the entire game, and then because we were chasing the game so hotly, they were able to knock in the goals on the counters. I think that the Toronto game was actually worse. It actually felt like a worse loss.
It did.
And it's not just because it was at home.
Right.
It was because of the fact that their goals came because of the fact that they just beat us.
That we just got put in the freaking blender.
Yeah,
multiple times. I mean,
there are 2 goals that I have. There are two moments that I have in mind. Both were goals.
My 2 both goals are Osorio and Insigne.
Yeah, and Insigne.
I mean, those were the 2 where we just got put in the fucking chopper.
Yeah,
and there was nothing we could do about it.
It was terrible.
It felt like
the Osorio goal was just.
Yeah, Zimmerman got thrown. That man's was thrown. He didn't know what to do.
That was not nice.
I mean,
that was not nice.
Like Thor, Love, and Thunder, but I don't know.
Nice.
All fair in love and war, I guess.
Exactly.
So he got thrown.
Yeah,
and Osorio just got a chance to. He just got all the space he needed to just get the ball. He got to plant it exactly where he wanted it.
Yeah.
He got to get it on his right foot. Nobody crashed him. Like you said earlier, the urgency we played with in terms of trying to win and chase the game wasn't there when it came to defending against those moments.
Agreed.
I mean...
Agreed. And the same thing happened, and exactly the same thing happened with Insigne.
Yeah.
On our heels, letting him have space.
It's just you can't do
and
that.
The problem is that whenever you let a player like that have space in the corner that he's at, in that spot, that deep into the field, he's going to pull up and he's going to look at the goal, and that's what he did. And everyone was sort of like, "Oh, we're just going to jockey back and we'll see if we can trap him in the corner."
Nope, it doesn't work that way. Not against a player like that.
Not against a player like that. And
I think, look, what happened when Zimmerman got a chance to score off that beautiful forehead? Look. They didn't mark him properly.
They didn't mark him.
You don't leave Zimmerman in the box unmarked properly. What happens? He fucking scores. What happens when you don't mark Insigne properly? He fucking scores. You don't get a chance. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it's true. I think that we have players that play with that kind of outside shot intensity. I think that Randall had two attempts.
Yeah.
Late in the game where he got over the ball and really just by chance ended up ricocheting around in there.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're putbacks and things like that. But Randall's somebody who's got that kind of being able to sort of pull the trigger from distance, got the killer instinct, and has got the accuracy.
Yep.
Why is he not on the field? So okay, now it's gonna get real negative.
Now we're gonna get tactical, and we're gonna get real tactical because Leal not starting. I mean, it's weird, and I think he worked really well in that 4-4-2. If we want to go back to what I said about liking the lineup with the new personnel, I think Leal fits really well into a 4-4-2.
So we played Davis. We played Davis on the outside over there instead of maybe a Washington or someone like that. And
speaking of which, we
didn't see him.
Where the fuck was he? I don't know.
But again, I think that Davis is right as a 6. He was not right out there. Once Leal come on, we were like, oh,
there we go.
That's the spark that we needed.
Let's put some let's sprinkle a little creativity and forward-thinking play in there. I mean, it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah. So, part of it's a personnel issue and like who's going to go where, and if Hani's not going to be a forward, are we going to make Randall play forward? Like, there's a kind of a puzzle as to like how those pieces go together.
Yeah.
So we can acknowledge that and say we have a problem. We don't have forwards.
We don't have forwards. I mean, well...
We have forwards.
We don't have forwards.
Do we have forwards?
No.
Or do we have forwards?
We have forwards, but do we have... Let's take it all the way. Do we have forwards to play specifically in the places Gary wants them to in a 4-4-2 situation? No.
And well, I think CJ does, but CJ only has a maximum of 60 minutes in him now.
Yeah,
and and he's not been really in great form, and so we can acknowledge that.
He's still. I have to say though, he's still winning balls in the air.
Winning balls in the air.
That's one thing you've got to give Sapong credit for. When it comes to balls in the air, he doesn't lose a lot of those. I didn't see him lose a whole lot that game.
And he's still an agent of chaos whenever the other team holds the ball. So that is a part of his game that I admire and like to see it happen.
You got to put a little respect on Sapong.
But we'd also like to see him actually, trap a ball properly and be able to knock it into space for him to be able to have a chance on goal. So it's like, look, there are upsides to his game, but like the primary purpose of him playing in that kind of point person position in the front is for him to be able to take a ball over the shoulder and be able to run onto it and smack it on the goal.
Yep,
he looked like he was running in muggy air a couple of those times. Sometimes the ball wasn't coming down. And so, you get a couple bad touches, fine. But if they're all bad touches...
then it's not,
Okay.
That's true.
So I think Sapong, look, if we're going to play with forwards, why is Ethan Zubak not out there? Ethan Zubak's a forward.
He is. That dude's an 11.
Why are we making somebody who's not a forward play forward when we have a forward? Is it just that Bunbury's hot, so I can understand wanting to ride him? Play him as a goddamn winger because that's where he plays.
That's his natural position. The 4-4-2. Maybe here we run into the dogma of 4-4-2. Yeah. I still think I like watching 4-4-2 play. I know that's like an old grandpa setup. Maybe people don't like that. I like it.
I like it. I think 4-4-2 allows you all sorts of, especially if you've got someone like Moore. 4-4-2 gives you so much flexibility. He's such a strong defender. And such a magic with the ball. He's speedy.
It helps use our wings effectively. I just think we've got great wingers. We need to have them down, setting crosses in like more. But what the fuck, subbing him off? See, now that's the problem. There was how many days before another game after that? Subbing Jack Moore off. 8 days.
Yeah, I think so.
You got 8 days to rest people and you take them off? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was the best decision on Gary's part, but
so so we've talked. So do we need to talk about there's an elephant in the room?
There's an elephant.
There's an elephant in the room. Let's
close with the elephant.
Let's address the elephant in the room, which is the Gary out movement.
Look, I'm gonna say it.
You're gonna say what?
Say it.
What are you gonna say?
You can be Gary out if you want to be, guys, but I'm not Gary out.
I'm not Gary out.
I'm not Gary out.
I can understand the point of Gary out, but I just think that this is really impatient.
Look, you got to. We're literally halfway through the season. Season's on its tail end. We're probably gonna have maybe postseason depending on how things go with Gary. But there's this trend of just sacking managers, just sacking them, just getting rid of them, just lopping them off, lopping their heads off, and just. Okay, they don't get a chance to build with the team. They get new personnel. They don't get a chance to find a way to put them into the rotation. Yeah. Let's see what Gary can do. Let's see what Gary can do. If you do sack him, do not do it in the middle of the season.
Yeah, don't do him in the middle of the season. Give him a chance. And the other part of this is that, look, every manager, unless they've just been given a giant pile of golden players. Have downturns in the season.
Yeah,
we got to give them chances to right the ship. If they can't right the ship, then we start talking about it.
But it's got to be tested and proven. If you sack him, we might be sacking him too soon. He may have a trophy in him.
I think
he may have a trophy in him here with us. You want to sack him before he gets that down?
So
just some silverware.
And you think about how close we were. This again. I really think that the Open Cup was just such a devastatingly close opportunity. Because the path was at home after Orlando, and we took Orlando to Pens, and the other side of that would have been Red Bulls at home, and then the final,
and that would have
and it would have been Sacramento. And again, the entire nobody in the United States except for people who live in Disneyland's parking lot are going to root for Orlando in that game. So we think about now again, these are sort of possibilities and things like that. But again, I think that Gary has got a kind of an approach. The complaint about it is that Gary ball is not really exciting soccer. It's not go bonito or anything like that.
No,
it's not a beautiful game.
No,
it's a grindy game.
It's choppy.
But
too,
so the fuck what? Like, if you're a soccer fan, like, you'll like a grindy game. You'll like if you're it's like a baseball fan. It's like, yeah, there are not enough home runs, but you're like, yeah, but I like I like singles and watch people string stuff together. I don't need to see the long ball. Fuck the long ball. I want to see singles, and I want to see someone trying to turn a double play and small stuff like that, small ball stuff. And I think that Gary's a kind of a small ball player. He's
he takes points where he can, where he's able to. I mean, it's like, hey, we can get a point. I mean, we didn't get points this game, so it doesn't look great, right? But collecting points on the road, that's what Gary Smith's MO. It's been his MO, and we were when it was riding high with Mukhtar, it was great. But yeah, dropping points at home is not great, but
losing at home, and I think that's you lose away, and not enough people were there, and you don't kind of get that crowd like I hate Gary.
Yeah.
But man, I've got to say that like the level of impatience with this team is like astonishing.
It is it's like, rising to new heights.
I mean, we're Arsenal fans, and so we're kind of used to sort of entitled fandoms where it's like, look, if they're not competing for 5th place or something like that, or 4th place, or it's like, they're like, man, Arteta out, Wenger out, and
you don't give them time to build. I think let them build. Look, I'm not saying Gary Smith is Jurgen Klopp, but it took Jurgen Klopp time to build up the kind of Liverpool team that he got. Yeah. He did the same thing in Germany. It took him time to build that team up, and he gave them results. I think we've got to be a little bit patient with Gary. This is one of those choppy seasons where you've got people coming in, injuries. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't easy. We had a lot of weird situations with Geoda's Park. Look, let's give him a bit more time at Geoda's.
This team needs, and I think that Gary also observes, like, look, this is just a weird place to play.
Yeah.
And so I think that getting used to playing there is going to be something that we need. Like, what's great is that I think the fans just immediately moved in and were like, this feels all right. This feels all right.
The players are like shitting their minds.
Yeah, I know.
We're like, ooh, this is nice. They're like, holy shit.
I got a really good hot dog.
Everything's fucking riding on me. Like, dude, that's not easy.
Yeah, I think that, and so, I'm not Gary out. I can understand the point, but I just think that it's impatience.
Not yet. Look, I could be Gary out by the end of the season, but I got to stop it off here saying I'm not Gary out right now, and I got faith in Gary Ball.
I got faith in Gary Ball too.
I got faith in Gary Ball.
I love ugly games. I love watching scrappy shit, and I think that, and that's what Gary's built. Gary's built a scrappy team that will happily win ugly, and most likely will win ugly. Yeah. I will say one last thing about this.
Okay.
Which is, I think we are one, and Marshall had said this. We are one Hani Mukhtar injury away from being a wooden spoon team. So
he did say that.
Yeah, and shout out to Marshall. But I agree there. I think that we are one Hani Mukhtar injury away from being like Cincinnati bad. Like, not Cincinnati this season bad. Like Cincinnati the last couple two seasons bad. Cincinnati chili bad.
Cincinnati.
So I every time I see Hani go down, even whenever I'm like, yeah, he's kind of floppy, I'm like, yeah, but he might hurt himself.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, I mean, it might be serious, and they might just ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, if we lose Hani, the Gary out movement is going to go wild, because this team is a working team, but it works if Hani's magic happens. We've got to have some other players bringing some magic. I've liked watching Zimmerman come forward. I like more spark. But the question is, Randall, Godoy, can they step in and bring that next level of spark? Yeah. And because my worry is that this team is very soon going to be we go as far as Hani Mukhtar can carry us, and that's not a way to make a team work. Nope. Right? I mean, even if you've got someone like Messi, or even if you've got someone like a 10 who can do that.
Yeah.
You know, the lesson is that they can carry a ways, but it has to be the team to sort of complete the journey.
Right.
And I'm a little concerned that if we lose Hani, this team doesn't work.
NSC fan TV.
Oh no.